Hello, everyone. Welcome to Artist Interview, where I have an artist and then I interview them and ask them questions while we color a picture. So, yeah. Today we have Donimation Studios. Hello. And, yeah, we can get started. So, here, let me get a layer that we can start on to color on. Okay, we can start. Do you want me to keep the white background? Oh, I don't think that looks too good to look at. Yeah, I'll keep the white. Okay, you ready to start coloring? Okay. All right. So first question. I think. Oh, by the way, I think we're gonna have to overlap some that I asked last time because last time it didn't work out. Okay, so
Yeah.
so what inspired you to start animation?
Oh, I think I would say my father because he introduced me to stop motion when I was really young.
Mm-hmm.
I've just loved doing it since.
Hmm.
I've moved to 2D animation now.
Hmm.
Started experimenting with the different softwares,
All right.
and that's it.
All right. Neat. Um, how was from what you remember? How was stop motion animation? Would you say do you enjoy 2D more, or did you enjoy the final product of stop motion more? Like, which one would you say was more fun to do and you enjoyed the most?
I'd say I like them both around the same, but a lot easier because you can plan it out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That with stop motion too, but it depends on the software you have.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. um. At one point, I remember I tried to do stop motion animation because I think I might have told you this last time. I'm not sure, but my mom bought me these little Minecraft figurines or whatever, and I was
Yeah.
just and I was like, oh man, I want to make Minecraft animations, and it was really bad because I didn't even keep the camera in the same spot, so it moved every single time. But I don't know. It kind of worked out. I don't know. Maybe I could find it someday, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't I don't know. I don't even remember how I did stuff. I think at one point I just dangled something with duct tape to keep it just show it as flying, but it kept shaking, so it didn't really work. But
I
yeah.
remember you told me that last time, and I remember that I said, wait, what did I say? To use those flocked bears, those
Mm.
small fuzzy bears.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Those were neat. Those were always neat.
Do stop motion with those, and I got these little cars. Where
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember where I got them from, but these little model cars,
Mm-hmm.
and the bears would fit perfectly inside, so I would put them in, and I would make stop motions of them getting in, getting out, and driving around.
Mm. Nice. Do you did you remove those, or do you think you still have them? Not that I'm trying to bring
I
you up from nowhere, but just curious.
I can put them up. I don't think I've ever put any of them up online, but
Hmm.
I could probably put them up.
Hmm. All right. Neat. Yeah. I don't know. I think most of the Minecraft one things I made are long gone. A lot of stuff I made when I was little was long gone because actually another thing I think that was said last time was that uh, when I was in my obsessed with Minecraft phase, I did do a Minecraft channel. I went nowhere with it, but it existed. And I don't know. I wouldn't say I regret that because a little bit, but because I was really embarrassed about it at the time. But now I'm just well, I don't know. Most people I've talked to have ended up making a Minecraft channel of some sort, so maybe I shouldn't feel too too bad about it.
Channel too.
Hmm?
Yeah, Yeah, I told you last time.
Mm,
I used to make Minecraft PE mods.
mm. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know about it.
I was one more thing. One more thing for me about Minecraft was that my family has never been big on buying like apps or whatever. Like if I have an iPad or something, and I used to be like obsessed with my iPad. My parents weren't usually wouldn't buy me like an app I wanted or something. And so I remember they used to have like this Minecraft Lite edition or whatever, where it was like a demo, and I would just play that over and over. Even though like you couldn't do much in it at all, like experience the game. I would just do the same thing over and over. Like I don't know. I don't even know how I found that entertaining for as long as I did, but it was like the most fun I ever had.
Around with that for a while. It was a light version, it was an unpaid version, and it didn't have many features.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm
Yeah, I
not.
think I may have messed around with that too for a while.
I'm not sure. Weren't you like stuck in creative mode or something like that? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Remember,
Mm-hmm.
I could never really get into of Minecraft. I was always a fan of the Pocket Edition version.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. After we've gotten only a little bit about oh shoot one more thing to the chat. Hello, John. My friend Johnny is in here. And he just said, "What's up, son?" So, what's up, Johnny? Okay. Next question. What inspired your art style?
And again, my headphones cut out.
Hmm. Oh, okay. What inspired your art style?
Art style. Well, it's a mixture of a lot of things. I think the best way to create your own art style is to look at a lot of different art styles from many different people and combine the best features to make your own art style.
Mm.
And then it's more original because it's just a little bit of everyone else's, a little
Mm-hmm.
bit of every art style that you like.
Mm-hmm.
I found some inspiration in the Loud House style.
Oh yeah, yeah. I like that show. Um, it's a good show. I like it.
Of it, though.
What was that?
I haven't watched a lot of it, but from what I've seen, it's really good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There was I'm trying to remember. There was one episode I really liked. I can't forget. I forget what it was. I remember there was one I was just like, wow, I really like this, but I forget exactly which one it was. But it is a nice show. I do like the style that they have in it. It's very. It reminds me of something, not like kind of what isn't there a certain
Yeah.
style it's shaped after? Like it's kind of old, something like newspaper e is what it reminds me of, like newspaper comic. I think that's it.
It's a lot like old comics, like
Like Garfield, I
Charlie
think.
Brown, Garfield.
Mm-hmm. I think the style Garfield had for the while, or maybe it still hasn't. I don't know. I've never used the newspaper. mm. But all right, all right. Yeah, I remember when I used to have a better art style than the one I do now. I ended up I regret this like every day, but I used to like my art style used to be like more complex than like circle heads, you know, whatever. But I used to be able to do better than that, but I ended up like for myself I was like, I don't want to do complex animation or whatever, and so I just moved to circle heads, and now I'm like stuck. but
It's better for the YouTube algorithm.
yeah, I guess, yeah. But it was inspired by a mixture of Domix, and I'm not sure if you heard of him, but Blackson. He had these like he had these characters who would have like a little like they'd be like basically a square, but at the bottom it'd be more round and like a little cheek popping out, and so it was that combined with this Dom's most of his head shape, and then that was my art style, and yeah. And then I think I eventually made it a little bit more realistic to my own, like had a more pointy chin. But yeah, and then and then and then yeah, I lost. Then I went to Circle Heads, and so now I'm here forever because I would draw like a whole bunch of frames with Circle Heads. But I don't know, it's still fun.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time trying to come up with a simpler art style because rigging animation, I only need to build a character once so I can do more complex characters,
Mhm.
some frame by frame. It's going to take a long time if they look complex, so I've been trying to think up some simpler ways to draw them.
Mhm. Like, and something for me, like I also do think I need to get like just better at drawing in general because like I've gotten better with it, but something I used to not be able to do at all is hair. Like that's why my character, and then the reason why my character was bald is because I was like, I don't want to have to draw a whole bunch of hair because at the time I had like this really crazy art style that I can't even explain. Like basically, imagine a palm tree with a whole bunch of small tiny leaves, and that's what was on top of my head, and I didn't even know how to draw it, so I ended up making my character bald. But now I can, but it's still, I don't know, it's hard to animate or whatever, because like in my recent video I had to animate Hosa's hair, and that was, and for their birthday video on their channel, the Dan Plan channel, and mine for the Smash Bros one. And it was, I don't know, it was frustrating because I'm just like, how do you hair? I didn't like it, but
Yeah, it's the same with me. Hair is one of my least favorite things to draw.
mm-hmm,
I I just think it's just too complicated half the time.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Hairstyles.
Especially like I have a new respect for so an anime I watched when I was younger was Naruto, and I have a brand new respect for the character, for the animators for the character Jiraiya, because he had really long white hair, and I'm just like, that would suck to animate like a fight scene and having to keep track of his hair moving in like the wind and stuff like that. Like that must have been such a pain. Just to make sure it looks accurate and it's like, reacting with physics. I mean, that couldn't have been fun. But
Yeah.
They did it. Okay. Alright. What was the next question? I'm trying to catch up on the ones I said last time. Oh, yeah. Where did you well, I don't know. Well, I guess for people who haven't seen it, how did you learn to animate so well? Because you animate well.
Thank you. Well, it's mostly observing other people animate.
Mm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
last time we recorded, I told you that there was a site that I go to a lot called watchframebyframe.com, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Put in, whenever I see a piece of animation that I really like, I would put in the URL into the site by frame and see how they achieve the effect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that. I do that a lot too. Or just some things like, yeah, I would say I don't use that exact site. I haven't had a moment where I've seen like animation. I haven't even been on like YouTube too much when I think about it. But when I do see something, like I remember, I think the last person I like looked over it a lot was with, I think it was a music video for this band called like Gorillaz, and I'm not sure if you heard of them, but their music videos are like, I think, always animated. And they did like, this guy was on roller skates and he like spun around and then stuck out his hand, and I like watched that over and over a few times. Like,
I just heard about them recently. I didn't know about them for a long time. I just checked them out recently.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Same here. I saw like one of their music videos on trending, and then I've been like, oh wow, this is a nice animation. And so yeah, apparently, one of their band members left the band or something, and they replaced him, like his character, literally with this. I forget his name. I think his name is like Kaz or something. but it's literally this guy Kaz from the Powerpuff Girls. Like, he's green with sunglasses and long hair. Like, they're not even saying, oh yeah, it's his, I don't know, making some story, or just saying like it's somebody based off him. Like, they literally said, like, I think they went to their maker of Powerpuff Girls and like asked if they could use them, and you're like, yeah. So it's literally just this Powerpuff Girls character in a band now. I'm just like,
I saw that in some YouTube thumbnails. I've seen it, but I thought it was clickbait. I didn't think it was real.
it's real. It's literally just him in the band. Because even watching it, I'm like, that looks familiar, but it's literally just him. I'm just like, wow, that's unexpected. But yeah, I don't know. That is like, that's something pretty cool. Just having a Powerpuff Girls character. Actually, no, I don't think that makes too good of a question. Okay, so how long have you been animating? Oh.
Well, let's see. I've been doing that since 2012. I started doing stop motion much longer before that, probably 2007.
Dang, I was like a baby still, and I was a toddler. Yeah. Would you, what were your thoughts when you like first started on like different softwares, and so trying to find a software to animate on? Did it like feel natural to you, or was it like, what the heck is this? Like, what was the emotions, you know?
Yeah, well, the program I use is Moho Studio. It was called Animate Studio before.
Mm-hmm.
Used to 2D animation. My dad bought me Animate Studio, and it wasn't really good, and I really didn't like it. But eventually, I revisited it, and now it's the only software I use. I do have Adobe Animate installed, and I have messed around with it several times. I'm just too comfortable with Moho.
Yeah. So the first time I started, well, there's been multiple times I animated. So the first time I went to Animate, I was actually wanting to do. I've been wanting to do a story time. I wanted since like 2015, and so I remember like me wanting to do it, but I didn't know how, and I didn't have like a drawing tablet or anything, and I found this sprite maker thing, like this pixel sprite maker. I think it's called like I forget what it's called. I need to find it. It's not Pixlr, but it's something. And
Big graphics scale.
I don't think that was it. I don't think that's what. I feel like it had Sprite or something in the name. I don't know, but I would try to make. I made like 2 little animations in that, and it was like because I didn't have anything else to make it with, and I never end up being able to really use them because it would export them really small, and the only because it would be like, what size do you want? And I'd be like, I don't know, 64 by 64 or something like that, and so I didn't, without realizing that'd be the size of the video. So I don't think I ever. Wait, no, I think I got to upload one. Maybe I got one to work, but yeah, they were like all pixely, badly done. But I don't know, I did it. I was proud of myself. But then I was like, I want to do real, better animation, instead of using that program. And also it started like crashing, like going really slow. If you put more than like, I think 100 frames in there, it would start freezing because it was just expecting you to put like, I don't know, the animation of like Mario jumping or like Mega Man walking or something like that. And so I convinced my dad, I convinced my mom to get me a drawing tablet and my dad to get me Toon Boom, which, because that's what I heard was, that's the thing professionals use. And I was like, okay. And so I got Toon Boom, and then I got my drawing tablet. I'm like, yes, I can finally start it. And I sat at my computer, I did one drawing, and I'm one frame in Toon Boom, and I'm like, this is hard. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll do this later. And I didn't get back to it for like a year. Wait, no, not a year. Like 8 months. And but by then I didn't think Toon Boom was still, because it was a monthly fee thing, and I didn't think I still had it anymore. And so I went back to researching, and then later on my dad was like, hey, so I found out I was still paying for the Toon Boom for 8 months. And I'm like, oh no. Because I thought it was just like you pay, it like says, hey, you want to pay for this? And he said, yeah. But it turns out like the whole time it had just been going. And so I'm just like, oh no. My bad. And so then it was canceled, but then I got Adobe Animate because one of my friends, he's really good artist. I'm not sure if he's watching, but if you're watching, hello Caleb. Hope you're doing well. But he won this art competition to where I think he got like one of his drawings in the White House, and as a gift they gave him a free Adobe products, like all of them for a year. But he already had Adobe, so he just was like, hey man, you've been looking for something to work on, you can just use this. And I was like, whoa, really? And he was like, yeah, because he's a really nice person. And so
that's really nice.
Mm-hmm. And so I've been using Adobe Animate since then, and I think the year's gonna be up soon. Honestly, I think I'm gonna have to pay for it this time. But it was that was really nice. Helped me start, and then Adobe, I've been using that since, and it's a good product. I like animating on it. My biggest issue, and this is like the main issue, is that sometimes it just decides to break. Like, I'll be going to, like, say Windows updates. Sometimes window updates break it. Sometimes just normal updates on Adobe, just for some reason, like, I'll be trying to draw and it won't pick up that I'm drawing or something until like I move like an inch away from where I first started. I don't know, just dumb, annoying stuff. But I don't know. I still like the software because I don't know, it's fun. And
I hear it crashes a lot.
So Adobe Animate, Flash does, but Adobe Animate, it stops a lot because I hadn't really experienced it until recently, but it only happens on my laptop when I use it to animate, and that laptop's like 7-8 years old, so I think it's kind of explained. But it also has the new autosave feature where you can set it to where if you want it to save every minute or every 10 minutes, and it will save your work. And so when it crashes, it'll be like recovery, whatever project you had, so that can help a lot. But it does crash sometimes. But, and yeah, so it's not a perfect product, but it's an alright one. It works. It works when you need it to. After sometimes. Also, hello to chat. Hello, Sternus. Welcome to the stream. Okay. Shoot. Next question. Let me pull it up. My phone locked. Okay. Bigger suggestions. No. Here's one. From Animations, I think. Yeah. What's the hardest thing to draw?
Probably hands.
Yeah. I feel you on that. Those, well, for me, I can get a cartoon hand, okay, but sometimes, like, I don't know, sometimes I'll have good days drawing hands, sometimes I'll have bad days, where I'll, like, but, and also, like, yeah, because sometimes I'll be like, okay, I gotta draw out 5 fingers, but then that'll be hard. I'm like, okay, 4 fingers is okay, but then I'm like, I can't even get a thumb right. So I'm just like, hands are hard. I think that's what a lot of people struggle with. Actually, with that, I think one time, I forget what this was when, but I was drawing this character, and I didn't know what to do with their hands because I couldn't draw hands by any means, and I think I ended up drawing just like, instead of like, I don't know, having their hands behind their back or in their pockets or like mittens or something, I ended up just drawing a bird just flying across. Like it wasn't even like a good bird because I wasn't good at that either, but just random bird just flying across in the middle of the drawing just to cover the hands. Instead of, it would have made a lot more sense to, I don't know, it would have made a lot more sense to just put her hands behind her back, but I didn't feel like doing that for some reason, so yeah.
Yeah, I typically just put the character's hands behind their back, you know.
Mm-hmm. It makes it easier. All right. So, what inspired the Donimate? Well, maybe not what inspired, because I know what inspired you animate. What had you start the Donimation Studios channel? Was it just like, I don't know, I don't know. What started it? I guess. I'll just ask that.
I've always wanted to have a YouTube channel, and I've had several animation channels in the past. I think I've deleted them all.
Mm.
But the name of these channels, I would end up disliking the name and I would delete them and then create a new one with a new name, then dislike that name. And eventually I'm going to create something simple. So I just mix my name, Donovan, and animation and just made Donimation.
Hmm. Alright. Yeah,
And eventually dislike that.
I had something like that with past channels, although I just changed the topic, but I do regret this name because like an email I used for a while was with this name. But so when I had that Minecraft channel, the name of it was Cake Kid, and I named my email after that. And so now sometimes people will be like, not like this anymore because I use a different email, but this is what was on my iPhone for a little while, my Apple account or whatever. It was like my username was Cake Kid or whatever on it. So people would be like, what the, why, huh? And I'm like, okay, I was like 9 and I liked Minecraft and I needed a username. And I would have to explain that like every time. And I was like super embarrassed with my email for the longest. But things are better now. And I don't know. I think I like the name Heart a lot better than Cake Kid because that's just
Yeah.
And I think at one point my friend ended up making like somewhat of a song with it. Like whenever he saw my email or just random times, he would just go boom 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 Cake Kid boom boom, and I would hate him so much for it. I'm just like, stop! You don't have to do this to me. But he'd do it like every time at random times, and it was I didn't like it, but what can you do? Okay. Actually, shoot, I'm forgetting the name of it. Hang on, give me a second, because I need to find it again. It was something about a character that I saw on your. What are the names? I saw. I'm looking. Why didn't you popping up? Okay, it was. Heck, man, why can't I remember? It was like in like I think a tic-tac-toe skit. Where is it? Were their names like Red and Blue or something? It was like an orange and a blue guy, I think. What are their names? Red and Blue? What?
Blue.
Okay. What were they inspired by? Were they you just needed characters, or were they inspired by something?
Characters. And in the first one, I don't think I ever called them orange and blue. I think I don't think that when I first created them and how to play tic-tac-toe, I don't think they had names at all.
Mm. Okay.
The comment section that named them orange and blue, and I just went with that.
Okay.
Probably would have chosen it anyway, since it's so simple.
Yeah. I, um, what that kind of reminded me of was this I'm not sure if you know what it is, but there was this YouTube channel. I'm not sure if it's still around, but it was called like Mondo something, and it had this show. I'm gonna just say stick figures, but the original name wasn't child friendly, and I had no business watching it at the age I was, but like I found it so hilarious, and the main characters were red and blue, and that actually was one of the first things that got me into drawing, because I was like I like completely copied like the art style of the stick figures, even because like they had their way of drawing it was like they had like really big eyes that covered like the majority of their face, and I was like I felt so cool that I knew that show. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I kind of remember something like that very vaguely. It was
mm,
Mondo something.
yeah, and like they think they had that made that show. I think it's like Happy Tree Friends or something like that. I believe that's the name. That I never watched that. That scared me because it was a little gory. So I didn't like it. I was scared as I was younger.
I've only seen that once. I was kind of curious what it was, and I clicked on it. And I didn't expect that.
Well, I'm not,
Like that.
I don't think anybody expects it the first time, because it's like, it's like the opening is like all happy and stuff like that, and it's like little cute animal creatures, and then yeah, I remember this one. I think the one I saw, it was like, I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but it was like this moose guy, and he like cut down a tree and it fell on him, and then his leg was stuck, and then it was just gross from the rest of the video. I didn't like it. It was freaky, but yeah. It was what it was. So yeah. Oh man. All right. So. Let me see. Next question. I had a list, but like I can't even. Hello, Dangle. But I had a list, and I'm not sure where it disappeared to. I thought I had a link to it somewhere.
Your question?
Huh?
A question?
Can you ask me a question? Sorry, your thing like cut out in the beginning.
Yeah, I'd like to ask you a question.
Oh, sure.
I think you have some really, really creative ideas in your videos, and you come out with these videos really consistently. So,
Mm.
what is your process of coming up with an idea?
Mm. Okay. So, so a lot of it, well, with the process of community, I think it's probably a little bit strange, but so, uh, something I like to do is I like to go out and, uh, I go out and just hang out places, like go for walks and stuff pretty often. And for me, something that was happening at my old school is that I went to is that I would be really bored there, and I would want something to do to make me laugh, and so I would just start looking at surroundings and stuff, and just imagining really dumb ideas and thoughts and things like that, to make myself laugh. And so, but like they would be quick, like one-off ideas, or just I don't know. One really short one would just be like people arguing over which brand of water is the best, but it would be enough to entertain for the time being. And so what I started doing was I would start writing those ideas down, and so now I have like I think this is the one I have right now of ones that I've chosen to write down. I think I have like about 130, and so I write each little idea thing I have down, and then when I have time, I'll like get a notebook or like sometimes I'll just open Google Docs and I'll just try to expand the I'll try to expand on the joke to make a whole skit out of it, because like the one I had you in the what was it? the one I had you in, the soccer one.
Soccer one.
Yeah. That was just originally I was hearing stuff about the World Cup, and I was hearing stuff about the World Cup coming soon or whatever. And then I just was thinking how they pretend to be hurt. So I'm just like, what if somebody just went all the way to like legal trouble or whatever? And so then I was just like, yeah, I think that'd be funny. And so then I went and Google Docs and just made a script. And I was like, yeah, I like this a lot. And so yeah, so creative process is think of something that would make myself laugh, write it down so I don't forget it, and then expand on it. And then yeah. And so
That's kind of what I have. I kind of have a list of stuff. It's not nearly that long though, but I have a long list of different ideas, just stupid things. Funny things.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of them though, I don't think I'll ever be able to make into videos. Some would just be really hard. Like I think the most recent one I have is, I'm not sure. Do you know the show Family Feud that's hosted by Steve Harvey? Yeah, sorry. Is your microphone cutting out again? I think, like Discord cutting it out or whatever.
Let's see.
Yeah, because I think sometimes when you speak, I'm not hearing. I can't tell 100%, but I think that might be what's happening.
If it's the input sensitivity.
That could be it. That makes sense. Ooh. I forgot to turn off my phone. But the show Family Feud, what happens is sometimes there'd be questions where like the answer for it would be most likely something inappropriate or whatever. Like I don't know, it could be about someone's private parts or something like that. And I notice every time somebody gives an answer like that, the host Steve Harvey gives the most like horrified face, like that's the most like inappropriate thing he's ever heard of. And I was just imagining like it being taken to the extreme, because I don't know, like you can look up clips of it and just like he looks so horrified, because I think one was like what would you, we asked 100 men what would you be pleasantly surprised by if your blind date showed up with, and then one person said it was a boy or something like that the blind date was a boy, and it was like number 6 answer, and he just looked so upset and horrified that somebody said that. And I'm just like, what? You're an adult, man. You can't be that horrified by it. But I don't know. It's entertaining either way.
Do you know if he knows the answers beforehand?
Maybe. I don't know. This is possible because he is holding like a card thing that I think he's supposed to be reading the questions off of. But sometimes he'll move it and you'll see that it's blank. So he probably does. I'm not sure. I don't know. But either way, he should make a reaction channel, because that'd be the only one I'd ever watch. Just because he always looks so sad afterwards. Oh yeah, I love that show. Yeah. Oh, this is something. This isn't even a question. This is just a game show I saw. I'm sorry, this is really random, but so my grandma was over my house yesterday, and she was asked us to turn on this show on Netflix, and it was like, I forget the name of it. It was something Bible, but it was basically this Christian game show or whatever, and my grandma was having so much fun, and like it was a little cringy for me, but it was like so. I found it really funny for that at the same time, because like the teens would be like the gospel geezers or something like that, and like the setup.
I think I know that
like,
show.
Oh, you do? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
my parents started putting it on recently.
And so one of the questions was like, we have our social media app Facebook, and if these disciples or whatever were alive today or something like that, who do you think would send blank message or something like that? And like my grandma had the biggest smile on her face from it, but I'm just like, this is really cringy, but I can't help but enjoy myself. That. But
Yeah, what you mean. It is kind of, a little bit cringy.
But yeah. Okay. Channel wanting to start YouTube.
Just say, just do it.
Just do it.
You know?
Mm.
Even if you don't have the software equipment, I think you should just start. Just open up MS Paint, even.
Mm-hmm.
And, you can even use a mouse. I used to make MS Paint animations at one point too.
Mm. Animating everything.
Even though there are a lot of critics that will, try to tear that stuff down, I think that you shouldn't let it phase you.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep doing,
Yeah.
keep improving.
Yeah. Oh. All right. Adobe just alerted me that apparently something different didn't save. It's not important, but yeah, I'd say that too. Like, I do think like one of the hardest things to do is just start, because like, I don't know, starting is half of the battle. Like for me, because I've been wanting to do this since like 2015, and well, I'm not sure when was I in 5th grade. Whenever I was in 5th grade, is when I first started thinking I'm wanting to do this. And so for me, like, I didn't start until my sophomore year of high school, simply because but like once I started, I just kept doing it, and because a whole big worry that was on my mind was, what if I'm not entertaining enough? What if I'm not original enough? Blah 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 blah. But like, I'd say as my stuff built, the better it got, because when I started, I was doing storytime animation and stuff like that, and I don't do that anymore, and instead I'm making skits and stuff like that. And so now I'm having a whole bunch more fun, and just, things are just going, I'm having a lot more fun and stuff like that than I ever thought I would be. And so it's just, I really would say starting is half of the battle, and then just, yeah. And for me, I had no idea I'd enjoy making animations and making videos so much, but it's like, it's just super duper fun, and so I'm super happy that I started instead of just waiting.
There's another thing I learned when I started putting up my videos. I realized that people who watch your stuff are often less critical than, I was myself. I was more critical of my videos than my audience was.
That is,
Some of my old videos I just don't like.
yeah. I understand a lot of my, like, I would say that too, because somebody I've had watching me since like I started was this guy. We're like really good friends now. It was this guy. I think his name is Spleen Pirate now, but his name was Sniffbird, and he liked my content. And I was like, thanks, man. But like, if I look back then, I'm like, this is done so badly. Why did people watch this? And so, but because I don't know, I don't like that no more. Like, for example, one is a video I made on Super Smash Bros. Not this most recent one, but it was a long time. It was like of how me and my friends are such big fans of the game. But I don't like that one anymore. The animation isn't, it's not good. I don't like it, and it's just yeah. But some people will still like. I still had some people come up to me and said like, yeah, I still like love that video or whatever. I'm like, but for me, it's OBS disconnect. Yeah, it's reconnect. All right, we're gonna have to. Why did it do that? I don't know. My Wi-Fi didn't stop. All right, I'm gonna have to start another session. Hang on, let me change the scene so people don't see the password and join all up in here and then start everything. But yeah, basically, what I would say is you're your worst critic, and so while you can be doing something and then see all these mistakes later, a lot of people will just they won't see them and they'll just enjoy what you're making. So yeah. Mm. Mhm. Yeah. You never. Yeah. One. I don't know. There's a lot of videos that. By the way, I started another session, and you should. You should be searchable now. But what was it? There was one. I don't know. A lot of my old videos, I'm not the biggest fan of anymore. But like, I do like to keep them up so I can see like the improvement, because I originally started like, a lot of my lines weren't connected and they were shaky. And then so now like seeing that my stuff's, it was like black and white too, but now seeing like it's colored and like I'm animating it a lot more, it's good to see improvement, which is why I like to leave those up. So yeah. Yeah. Hang on. What is this button? Oh man, I had no idea. Oh, just found out how I can zoom out more because I couldn't see the whole thing. But now I figured out how to do that, so that's gonna be a lot more useful. Okay. Let's see. What's a question? I'll pull up another one. I think I got another one. Actually, this one I had for you. And your sort of thing. It's a dumb one, so apologies in advance. But okay, so people say make like a tree and leave, but trees itself are not leaves; they are trees. But however, if a tree is not a tree without leaves, then do trees no longer exist in the winter due to having no leaves, or are they an entire new being? Yeah. Oh, trees are still trees. Mm, that is true. That is true. Mm. I can't remember most stuff from school. Hmm. Yeah. A tree is well, yeah. For me, I'd say a tree is a tree, and some people gotta speak for the trees. By the way, you know what the Lorax is, correct? You know Dr. Seuss, right? Okay, because somebody, I'm not gonna say their name, but somebody who I know has never heard of the Lorax, and I'm just like, how have you not? That is like the most read book in the world. Like, what is the most read book? Oh, I'm not gonna get into it now. But yeah, somebody doesn't know what the Lorax is, and that is just wrong. Because everyone has to know what the Lorax is. I'm sorry. All right. What's the question? So Let's see. Oh yeah. How did I forget about this? Game design. Like you make games? How did you get into that? Where did that come from? Because I'm not sure. Like, oh man, because you do a lot of stuff. Like, okay, I've just realized I haven't said this to people watching. But if you don't know who Donovan is, he's animation. He makes animation, music, and video games. There's probably more. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm forgetting something, but he does good stuff. So yeah, where did the game design come from? Hmm. 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 Neat. Yeah, that's a lot of talent though. Like being able to make music and what is it? Being able to make music, animation, and game building. That always has seemed like something it would be really fun to be able to make. Like, because video games are fun themselves, but like making one, that's gotta be like super duper fun. And where did the music come from? What got you into making music? I'm gonna make this a little bit more purple.
When I started making games, I wanted to make everything for the games. I wanted to make the sprites, and I wanted to program it, and I wanted to make music for it.
Hmm. 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 Yeah, I haven't had that. I'm gonna be sure to check that out. Let me actually save it for soon. Oh, shoot. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I just realized that they couldn't see the screen, and so they haven't been seeing the drawing. My bad. I forgot. Thank you for reminding me. So, yeah.
Wireless headphones are connected to my tablet and my computer. So whenever I open up the stream, my headphones, the audio will cut off. The audio from the computer will cut off.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't been able to get it up yet.
Mm. Okay. What was next? Sorry, I forgot where we were. What were we on? We were talking about. Use it? Yeah, we were talking. Oh yeah, so you wanted to make everything for the games, and yeah, that's very admirable, by the way, because how long have you been making games and music for the games?
Okay. So I think I started games in 2009 probably, and I think a couple years after that. No, probably 2012 is when I started making music around the same time I started doing 2D animation.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, hang on. Okay. Some people were saying they couldn't hear you. I'm gonna listen through to see if that fixed that. Hang on. Yeah. What is it? Being able to make music. Man, I feel bad. I didn't realize how long it was on the almost ready screen. Yeah. Okay. They can hear you now. So, yeah, issue fixed. Okay. Where were we again? I'm sorry. It was video games. Yeah. How long had you been making them? Sorry.
Around 2009, since around 2009.
All right. That's a long time. Dang, you've been doing this for a while. Yeah. I saw the one thing you're making on your Twitter. It was. Was that just like something you're testing out, or do you plan to make a game with that? The one project. It was like a little platformer thing I saw. It had like
the platformer. Yeah, I'm planning on making a bigger project. Working on a smaller one. It's a breakout game. I think I posted that. I posted a lot about that on my Twitter too.
I saw. That was well done, by the way.
Yeah. It's for mobile devices by the end of the year sometime.
Nice. I'll be sure to look at that and check that out.
Yeah, me and my brothers have been working together to develop. We're trying to develop more apps. Start releasing them.
Nice. I'm looking forward to that. I'll be sure to grab it, whatever it ends up being. I'll be sure to play it. Oh wait, so you brothers and stuff are into animation in games and stuff too, or are they just in games?
My brothers are more doing the
Mm.
concepts for the games. I'm doing most of the programming,
Oh, okay. Okay.
a bit of programming, and I don't know if they're you, continue with programming.
Mhm. All right. Neat. Neat. That's cool. It's like it's a little cringy. I forget what time, like one of those '90s family bands, except it's brothers, and you're the I don't know. You're the Jackson Five of video games. I'm sorry. I'm not. I don't even need this fighting, but E.
Four of us, so we'd be the Jackson Four.
Jackson 4. Yeah. Actually, wait, no. It was the opposite. So, yeah, I guess it kind of worked, because I'm pretty sure, I think the Jackson 5 had, Jackson 5 had 6 of them. And so you can be a number off and still count. I think at one point they had 6. So, yeah, it works. Oh, I drew that on the wrong, I colored in the deck on the wrong layer. Okay. Yeah. But that is really cool. That is really cool. I'm happy you get along with like your brothers and stuff to where y'all can make like a whole heckin', y'all can be making a video game together, because that's awesome. That's a lot better than how I was with my brother, because me and my brother, it's better now because he's in college, but we used to hate each other, like, oh my god. Like there would be nothing that me and my brother would not fight anymore. Now we get along like really well, but like me and my brother were just like, if there was, I don't know, that I'm not sure if you've seen it, but that meme of like, it's my turn on the Xbox or whatever, that was basically me to my brother, and then we would fight about whose turn it was on the Xbox. It was it was fun. It was a lot of arguing and stuff, but it was neat. It was how we bonded, and now we're just like, and now it's just, actually, sorry. One more thing I want to go on with this is, so something people would tell me all the time, because me and my brother would fight and wrestle and stuff like that. And so people would always say to my brother, one day Hunter's gonna be bigger than you. He's gonna beat you up, whatever. And I was waiting on that day for so long, because I'm like, I'm tired of him being bigger than me or winning every fight or whatever, And so now my brother, he's in college now, but I'm taller than him now. And so it happened, but by then it's just like, because we're much better now. So my dream when I was younger is just now, it's just kind of like, we're cool now. But yeah, but it did come true. So people weren't lying. It did end up happening.
Kind of reminds me of my youngest brother, but like, he's growing taller than the rest of us. My youngest brother. We just tell him, stop growing.
Yeah, that's me. Like with the stop growing, that's me. Except with like most of my family, because it's with my mom the most, because my mom, like, I remember I would be like a foot when I was like a foot shorter than her, and I'd be like, I'm ganging up on you, mom. I'm about to be taller than you, and she'd be like, yeah. But now it's just like I'm a whole like foot taller than her, like a foot and a half, and she's like, okay, you can stop growing now, it's fine. you can stay small. I won't mind. And so it's mine. But yeah, now it's like every single time I meet this is like every family reunion or something like that, where somebody will be like, I'll be walking around and somebody will be like, is that Hunter? Oh my god, you're so big. And I'll be like, yeah, I've grown, blah, blah, blah. And they'll be like, I remember when you were this small. Do you remember me? And I'll be like, no, I don't. But I'll be like, yeah, maybe a little bit, But it's just everyone, like, every time I meet anyone now, it's like, he's so big. Do you remember me? I remember when you were, like, first born. I'll be like, no, I don't remember you. But thanks for remembering how big I was. Yep. everyone wants a baby. But
sounds like a good animation idea.
yeah, I like it. I think let me put that down. Actually, but yeah, I don't know. It's me. Yeah, and actually with that, so actually I would say being this tall and like how big I am is a plus because like and well also minus at the same time because so I have the body like if I was a fan of sports I could be a great football player because I'm like right I think I'm like 6 feet now and I'm pretty big. Like my family is just naturally strong, and I'm pretty big, and so like all the time. I think I've actually said this in a video, but all the time I'll be told like you need to play football, blah 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 blah, or something like that. But for me, every time it's just like no, I'm not. Which it gets annoying because I don't get stopped being told that and asked that if I play football. Because people never stop, but at the same time it's a plus because like one time before, I was wearing clothing for my brother's college UTK, and people were like, "Oh, you're a football player, aren't you?" And I was just like, and then my brother was saying like how you can get discounts on stuff for being in sports, and I was like, yeah. And so I didn't know much of what we were talking about, but I ended up getting a discount, so that was good. So like multiple times though, I've been like perceived as much older than I was. Like I remember one time a Jehovah's Witness was at my door and talking to me, whatever about like a whole bunch of stuff, and I was like, okay, cool. And he was like, I'm guessing you're 19, 20? I'm like, I am 15, sir. He's like, oh. Really? It was funny. But, yeah. Hang on. Let me put this thing down. Thank you for telling me to put that down. Might make something with that later. But, yeah. Actually, so with this next game you're thinking of making, with this next game, thank you, The Destroyer. Sorry, let me finish my chat. Thank you, The Destroyer, for the compliment. Sorry for people that haven't been the most active in chat. I've been drawing, and, oh wow, somebody picked up on a little Easter egg, put it. If you look at the planet, one of the little continents is shaped like the OK hand. A little Easter egg. That's what I noticed. But, yeah. Also, hello, Jose. Jose's in the chat. Hello. Have you ever, okay, that's something about, Madagascar. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I've caught up on it. Hello, everyone. Hey. Everyone who's watching. Yeah. And, okay. Alright, no. It's Lore Axe, not X. Lore Axe. With the A and an X. But, yeah. Okay, this drawing is gonna be pretty much done soon. So yeah, I'll try to hurry up. Man.
I like what you do with the background there. The zigzags.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Nice.
I remember. Thank you for that. I thought it looked bad, but thank you. I appreciate that, man. I remember one time I actually tried to do an actual like space looking background, like realistic, and those are super hard because space is just so random and like specific. Doing like drawn space backgrounds are super. If you ever want to just challenge yourself to something really hard, try to draw realistic, like super realistic space, and that is very difficult. Very, very difficult. Oh, okay. Hmm.
Couple of times, and one time I got a background, a space background that I really liked. And now whenever I need a space background, I just copy and paste that one
Mm.
because I'm not doing it again.
Yeah, those they're so hard, just so hard. Why does space have to be hard to draw? um, hmm. Oh yeah, I remember the question I had. So, with this game, you're thinking of gonna make. Could I? Is there any way you could give any details about it, or are you gonna keep them a secret?
I'm gonna keep them a secret.
Okay, okay, I can respect.
But have been out early copies for playtesting. It's in the very early stages, very early stages.
Okay,
A bit of playtesting.
all right, neat, neat. I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I hope it's gonna be a good game. I'm sure it's gonna be a good game. And yeah. So, mm, yeah, man, dude, you do a lot. Like, I can't. I like, man. It took me forever just to get into animation, but like, you doing game design and all that stuff. Actually, I know you said there was that studio, but what would you say some of your biggest inspirations for video games were?
Recently, Toby Fox
That's the
and
guy who made Undertale, right? I think.
Undertale.
Mm.
Really haven't played Undertale yet, to
Mm.
be honest.
Mm.
But yeah, he does all of the music for his game. He
Oh,
does a lot of the art. He has someone helping him, but he does a lot of the art.
mm.
He does all of the programming too.
Dang, that's a lot. I heard something like he did like most of the work on that. That's ridiculous, man. That's a lot. It's a That's a lot to do. This dang, I can't even do it. I have no idea with coding. I remember I met somebody who knew like how to code and stuff, but I don't know. They offered to like show me, but I'll keep that to as a mystic wonder. I'll keep my vision of coding being like numbers appearing on people's face in little montages. I'll keep that as my thought of it. Is it that cool?
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh shoot, I messed up a little bit. But yeah. I think that's all the questions I can think of. I think the art's pretty much done. Oh, thank you. Thank you, people in the chat, for the compliment, Emelika Frankly. Emelika Frankly. Yeah. Let's see. One more question I want to ask. So, tips on tips to. Well, I guess this was not really YouTube channel. Tips for animators. Like, what is a tip you give for an animation channel?
Well, depends on the kind of animation channel because we've had animation on YouTube has changed a lot.
It has.
For animation, I'd say look up the principles of animation. I think Alex Becker, I think,
Alan Mecker. Yeah, and I've seen
a
it.
really good video. A really good video on the 12 principles of animation.
My phone. I thought I turned it off. My bad. Yeah, sorry. Continue.
12 principles of animation. I would recently I've been trying to incorporate all of those into my work. What else? Oh, also for animation planning. Planning is very important and it's something I've trying to get better with recently. Planning from like storyboarding and then drawing the key poses, doing all of that stuff just to make sure that I know what's going to happen, where I want it to go. and so the character doesn't change sizes halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
Just doing my old stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with that. That can help a lot, like a lot. Like I wish I've been trying to do that a little more too. Not completely. No, I'm not always perfect with it because sometimes I'll do it sometimes in some spots and then sometimes it won't, and then you can probably tell the difference because one will be consistent size and then one will be not good size. And with you were saying check out the that Principles of Animation video. Yeah, I would say definitely watch that because I don't know, that helped me a lot. I used that and that helped me a lot. I think I'm just on the wrong layer. Oh yeah, I think. Okay, yeah, it was. Sorry. But I would definitely say I agree with that. I think people should watch that because that video is very helpful. And I haven't read this since I haven't. I don't know. I've always wanted to get this, but I always forget when I'm like on Amazon or something. But it's this book called like Survival's Guide to Animators or something like that. And I've been told by a lot of people that book is really helpful. So I'd say get that because I've heard it's helpful. And I think it does go over stuff like planning things out and like basically I think it's the 12 Principles of Animation. It has that, but imagine that going into more detail and some other stuff, and that's the video. the book, not the video. It's the book. So, but yeah, I've been told.
I've read a chapter or two of that. I don't have it. I've been meaning to get it, but I've been able to read a chapter or two. And I think just right on the second chapter, it goes over all of the planning, the, straight ahead animation, just going frame after frame after frame without, afterwards. You can get the flow of the character better. You can know how things are moving better. So what it recommends is to draw all the key poses like the poses that you want the characters to be in at certain points, and then you go straight ahead as a guide.
This is good advice, sir. Yeah. Planning is very important and something I wish I would have done way before, because then I didn't notice like. Oh, something we were talking about before of not liking a project we worked on before. One is the subway video I have, because I noticed one part where I wasn't planning it out, and so the guy's like, he's moving, and then like his head gets smaller and his like body gets bigger. Just it wasn't planned out like it should have been, and then it wasn't as good as that. I think he was getting like from sitting up to standing backwards with his arms crossed. His like body moved a whole bunch or whatever. But I'm trying to get better.
Yeah, I don't do a lot either, but I've been trying to do it more and more. Sometimes I just don't want to do it. It just feels like extra work. But every time I do it, it comes out better.
Yeah.
Start doing that more. But I also sometimes get a free pass when I'm, reusing character's head, or if I build a character rig.
Yeah. I think I've heard that's like really helpful. I've never done it, but I heard like building character. Like there was this thing. I think it's an actual Adobe product that a lot of people started using. It was like Adobe Character or something like that. So where you can just like make the lips and the body parts, and then just have those to move or whatever, and then you can switch them out. I've heard more and more people start using that and recommend that. But I don't know the product, so I can't say if it's great or bad or I don't know it. But yeah, I actually think. Hang on, what time is it? Where did my phone go? Oh, okay, there it is. It's 5 something because my alarm went up. Oh yeah, 5:05. I'm gonna have to get ready to go because I have to go to see my grandma at 5:30. So yeah, I think that'll be it. I don't think I have any more questions either. So yeah, I think that'll be it. Do you have anything you want to say to the audience before we head out, or are you good?
Yeah, good here.
cut out again, but I think we're good here. I'm not sure. My bad. Not bad. But yeah. So yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for people who stayed from the beginning and the end, and to anybody who dropped in and dropped out. Thank you for also being here. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope it was something nice to listen to. And yeah, next episode, I don't know when it's gonna happen, but yeah. Donovan, it was great to have you on. This took like a month to do finally, but it happened. It happened eventually. So yeah. So thank you
having
for
me.
It was fun. It was really fun. Thank you again for coming. But yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you. Bye.